Hi, John. My name is Heather. How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
Good. So, I just wanted to remind you that anything during the session is confidential. So, anything that we talk about stays here. And also, any notes that I take today, you can read. So, we can either read it together or you can read on your own. So, what brought you in today?
Um, wanted to talk about my alcohol problem.
Okay. And why did you choose today to come in?
I'm seeing now that it's a big problem and it's not healthy. It's not the right thing to do. So I figured I'd try to get it fixed.
Okay. So, when did you notice the alcohol that started to be a problem in your life?
Um, I'd say probably after my first deployment in the army.
Okay, and when was that?
That was 2015, I believe. Yeah, 2015.
Okay. And if you had to name the feeling of the alcohol being a problem in your life, what would you call that?
Um, being dependent on it. What's the word for it? Dependency.
Dependency?
Yeah, dependency.
Okay. So I think that's like a really good name to label that in your life. I think that's great that you can identify as that. So when you talk about dependency, what is that doing to you in your life?
It's basically every day I have to drink.
Okay.
Um, any time that I was able to wake up, brush my teeth, have a drink, go to lunch, have a few drinks, get off work, drink a lot more. Um, yeah, it was kind of just something that was there and obviously easy to get when you're of age, but yeah, it was just something that was there, and it was I think I was using it as a coping mechanism.
Okay. Great. And that was a great description. Physically and also emotionally, what does that do to you?
Physically, I was pretty dependent on it, obviously. I think a little bit prior to my first deployment, I was an alcoholic. I remember landing on my first deployment, getting there, and then the first few days starting to get the shakes from not having alcohol, and that's when I started thinking. I was like, I think maybe it's just the nerves and everything else, and then I started thinking, I haven't had a drink in a few days, so I think my body's not enjoying that.
So this dependency, if we were going to talk about dependency as a person, um, what is that dependency doing to you? Is that still affecting your life right now, or?
Not anymore. I think I've gotten a lot better with it. I'm not drinking every day. Um, but when I do drink, sometimes I get out of hand, and sometimes I don't. I think it kind of just depends. When I got back, that was when it was bad. Drinking an entire bottle of vodka to yourself every day definitely will take a toll on you.
That's great that you can identify that. Um, so I do just want to ask you a question. It's kind of weird to think about, but imagine that you were to go to sleep right now and a miracle were to happen. So when you wake up, the dependency went away. Dependency is not there anymore. Um, so, how would you know that the dependency left? What things would be different in your life or changed?
I think I would know that it would change if times I get frustrated either at home or at work, I wouldn't think right away, man, I could use a drink right now. because that's all it is that whenever I start to get in a tight situation or a high stress situation, I'm just thinking afterwards, like, a drink definitely would feel phenomenal after this. Well, not just a drink, a few. But yeah, if I didn't have that urge in those kind of situations, I think that's how I would know, I'm over it and it's gone.
So it sounds like dependency is, affecting your life, but you do want that to, go away and you want that change.
Mm-hmm.
And dependency has been in your life for a while.
Yeah.
Correct?
Not necessarily depending on other people or things. It was just, I think eventually what ended up happening was just the stress and anxiety of things. Alcohol was the easiest thing to turn to. Um, I remember coming back from my first deployment. My roommate was trying to convince me to go out on a date with a girl, and I was like, "No, I'm gonna just stay in and drink." And he's like, "That's how I know you're a full blown alcoholic. You would choose to just stay in and drink by yourself instead of going out on a date with a good looking girl."
So dependency, affected your relationship with other individuals as well.
Yeah, mainly with going back into the dating world. It was difficult. I always felt that to tolerate some of it, I needed to drink, even if it was just a little bit. And I had gotten pretty good at hiding it and being secretive, um, so nobody really noticed. But my friends did. My guy friends, they all noticed. They noticed it, but they saw the fun joking around John, not the when he gets out of hand and angry, but just keeps it all bottled up inside and deals with it himself, and just keeps drinking and drinking and drinking until he's pass out.
So, what do you think would be a goal to set that's realistic
Um,
for the dependency and drinking to stop?
Probably not just. It's weird to say probably, but not just quitting cold turkey, because I see it as now, or at times I'm able to have a drink or two and I'm fine and I can go home and do whatever, but it's just cutting it down from not drinking 5 days out of the week, drink maybe twice a week, have a drink when you come home from work and that's it, and then on a Friday, Saturday, you're hanging out and you have drink 3, 4, 5 beers.
Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think you could achieve that goal? So 1 would be you don't think John could achieve that goal, and 10 would be like you definitely think you could achieve that goal.
I'd say about an 8. I think it's definitely an achievable goal.
Okay.
Just keep gotta keep my own mind off of it.
Okay, and on the scale of 1 to 10, also, how much effort do you think John would put in to achieve that goal?
10.
10?
Yeah.
That's great. That's really great. An 8 and a 10 is awesome. So, have you ever tried to do that in the past?
Yeah. I've worked on it when I realized. When I started puking blood is when I realized it. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Something's got to change. I'm gonna kill my own body, you know. Um, once that happens, the realization kicked in.
So, what would be a coping mechanism for you to cut down on the drinking?
um, Probably the best way would be to just find a hobby. Maybe work out, something else maybe besides that. Go swimming, do hiking, something like that.
Great. So I definitely think that's a great coping mechanism, or multiple coping mechanisms to deal with the dependency and alcohol, cutting down. Um, so I would like you to, try to do some of those coping mechanisms. And next week we can talk about which coping mechanisms you chose to do over the week and how you felt with those, and also how that affected the drinking throughout the week. Does that sound achievable?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, did you get everything you wanted to out of the session today?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Well, it was great meeting with you today, John.
You too.
And I'll see you next week, and I look forward to hearing about the coping mechanisms that you worked on.
All right.
Alrighty.